Hello Steam, I'm very happy to be here today. I decided to make a video that I would kind of bundle with the latest Steam update so that people both on YouTube and Steam could kind of see what I'm doing. It's been quite a ride this year. I've really started buckling back down on working on Familia and trying to get this project back on track over the last maybe 5 months, and it has been awesome. In the last 3 months, we've sold more than any 3 months of the game's history. We are adding new content daily, and by we, I guess I mean me. Anyway, I'm really excited to be sharing this message with you, and now let's get into the updates. First thing I want to talk about is the release date. For those of you who follow the game closely, you know that the release date for Familia Act 2, which is what everybody asked me about, so it's the first thing I'm going to talk about, was set to be, I think, November 4th of 2021. Now, if you go and check out my Steam page, it will be very clear that that date never came to pass. I did move it back. The current date is June 9th, 2022. So then that leads me to my next question. Will Familia be released on June 9th, 2022? If you want my honest answer, it doesn't look very promising right now for me to finish the game that quickly. I have been working on it, but there is a ton more content to do. And I'm really sorry. I'm trying, hang in there. I'm a solo dev. I also work full time. So while Familia is probably the passion in my life and it's what I ultimately want to dedicate my life to, I do have to stay in a house and pay electricity and pay for the internet and eat some food, usually just rice or beans. But yeah, I do have to eat food. So, I have to take care of all those things, and I have to keep reminding myself not to just work on Familia all the time. Okay, so I don't really know when Act 2 is really going to come out. The date it's listed for is June 9th, but it could literally come out any day. So there's no way to really know for sure, and I don't really have a solid answer for you as to when this game will actually come out, all right? So if you want to ask me, feel free, and maybe I might have an updated answer. You can check the Discord, jump on my Discord, and hopefully I can have something for you, or at the very least I'll tell you where I am in the process of creating this game. Okay, moving ahead. Familia Act 1 1.3 new features. So for those of you who don't know, around this time last year, I released Familia Act 1 1.2, and now a year later, we're adding Familia Act 1 1.3. And 1.3 offers a whole lot of new features, but I've never actually gone over some of the features in 1.2, so I'm just going to combine all of those features into this update video here so we can talk about everything that I've done. One of the things that I've probably worked on the most from a programming standpoint, I didn't really create that much art for this. I created a scalable dungeon system. Basically, there's this area in the game now called the Reach Facility, and the way it works is you can go in, you talk to an NPC, and you can set a difficulty, and you'll get randomized loot. So not only is there randomized dungeon content, but there's also randomized loot content. This area of the game also utilizes random encounters. So if you're one of those OGs that likes the old feel of the old school Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest games, you can get that through random encounters. To unlock this scalable dungeon with this scalable loot that randomizes prefixes and affixes, you will have to do additional quest line. Now, these quest line involve defeating Mother, and also, I will say, I don't want to spoil it, but Glenn the Goblin will make an appearance now in 1.3. So if you're wondering what happened to Glenn the Goblin, you can definitely find that out by jumping back into Familia or starting new and playing Familia and giving it a try. I also have some additional just mini quests and things. Nothing that I really want to straight up point out, but just the world of Calby, the island that the Act 1 takes place on, has been expanded, and there's a lot more for you to do. I do think that I should mention, just because I don't want to leave it totally closed, I do want to add more features to this game before going on to Act 2. And let me know what you think about it. I want to implement a farming minigame, a fishing minigame, and a cooking feature in the game. And other than that, I think I might fix up a few images and things and graphics and assets. But other than that, Act 1 is pretty much at the point I want it to be right now. So hopefully within the next month or two, I can implement those new features and we can all play them, and Act 1 will be great. I will probably have a Familia Act 1 1.4, and then we'll move on to Act 2 from there. And I do think that with Act 2, Act 3, Act 4, those episodes of the Familia series will come out much more quickly because I've been spending a lot of time with Act 1 trying to nail down the core functionality that I want in the game. So the further acts will be more just story, additional monsters, and levels and stuff, where I'm still really spending a lot of time on the core kernel, the core functionality of the game, and kind of building upon that right now. So hopefully once we get rolling, those will come out a lot faster. If you do want those to come out faster, another thing you can do is just help me. You can help me by buying the game. You can gift the game to your friends, and also reviews. If you guys can get me reviews for the game, that'll help me sell the game more, and that'll help produce more revenue, which will enable me to focus on the game more, and will also enable me to maybe hire more artists and stuff to get everything I need to get done. I've added a lot of art. I added a lot of sprites. I no longer use the old school RPG Maker default style sprites. I think that the new sprites will kind of set my game apart a lot more from a lot of other RPG Maker games. In addition to that, I heavily customized a lot of the maps. One of the new features I use is I use zoom sprites. Now I use, so some levels the sprites will be more zoomed in and some levels they'll be more zoomed out, which gives a greater feel of variety when you're navigating your way through Calby Island. In addition to that, on the outside I added clouds, which I think those look really good. And since we're already talking about art, I will mention that the game is quite a bit more optimized now. I have been playing with making the game work on Android, but setting up a mobile game with touchscreen buttons and UIs with like swipe motions and things like you would have on a phone, it's a lot more difficult. That'll come when it comes. If you want to check out the mobile version, I do post it, and you can try it whenever you want. It's totally free. Furthermore, just so you know, once the Android one is pretty set up, I will also probably eventually create a Apple iOS version of the game as well, because it's really not too much more work to move from one to the next. I would say as far as being like bug free and robust, the game is probably as strong as it's ever been right this minute. Thank you to everybody who has helped me, everybody who has tested the game. Thanks to Code Mora and LMP for helping me make plugins. And, you know, I just really appreciate the community. It's been growing. And if you guys want to come and hang out with me in Discord, I really appreciate it. I love talking to people in Discord, and I'm just kind of trying to build up that community. If you want to learn about making RPGs or learn more about Familia or learn about making game art, it's a great place to go and hang out. So all that said, I hope this message finds you kindly. I'm going to go ahead and sign out now, and thank you for watching this video. I will talk to you guys later. Farewell.